You ever get one of those letters in the mail that makes you stop mid-sip of your coffee, blink, and go, wait, what? That was me, standing barefoot on my porch in Oregon, wind chimes tinkling softly in the breeze, holding a notice from our neighborhood HOA. It read, "Violation, excessive noise caused by wind chimes. $250 fine due within 10 days. I swear, I laughed out loud. Then I realized they weren't joking. Let me back up a little. My name's Mike. I'm a semi-retired welder who bought a modest craftsman home on a cul-de-sac outside Eugene after my wife passed. Peace and quiet were kind of the whole point. The wind chime in question? A handmade copper piece my daughter gave me on Father's Day last year. It doesn't clang, it sings softly, mind you. The thing sounds like a yoga retreat, not a Black Sabbath concert. But apparently, let's be real, we all know who filed a complaint. Interstage left, Karen. Karen is our neighborhood's self-appointed guardian of all things proper. Short blonde bob, pressed khakis, the whole 9 yards. If there's a rule to quote, she'll quote it. If there isn't, she'll invent one and act like it's been in the bylaws since the dawn of time. Within a week, I got another letter. Same fine. No decibel reading. No citation of specific ordinance. Just a threat to escalate to collections. I decided to attend the next HOA board meeting. I wasn't looking to cause a scene, just to explain. I brought in a recording of the chime. I even brought the chime itself. But the minute I stepped into that community center room, Karen was already wagging a finger and tossing out phrases like auditory nuisance and property value depreciation. I raised my hand. Is there a specific rule about wind chimes? Karen glanced at her iPad and smirked. Section 3.4 prohibits disturbing outdoor fixtures. Your chime qualifies. I blinked. You mean the one quieter than birds? A man at the far end of the table, Rick, one of the board members, leaned forward. We've never enforced that clause before. Karen interrupted. It's not about enforcement history. It's about precedent. If we let him get away with it, everyone will put up wind chimes. God forbid, I thought. The horror of decorative, melodic air sculpture. I was given 48 hours to remove the chime or face escalating fines. That's when I knew they weren't bluffing, and this wasn't going to end with a friendly chat. It was about control. Karen wanted obedience, not conversation. So I did what any rational, semi-retired guy with a stubborn streak would do. Lawyered up. Not some fancy downtown firm either. I called up Gloria, an old friend of my late wife. She's a bulldog of a lawyer who once sued a dog food company for using beef flavoring that turned out to be cardboard extract. If anyone could navigate HOA nonsense, it was Gloria. She read the HOA's letter, then the bylaws, then laughed so hard she snorted. There's no enforceable clause here, she said. Section 3.4? It's so vague it could apply to a porch light or even your American flag. I smiled. Good. Let's give him hell. We filed an injunction to halt the fines and demanded arbitration. Instead, the HOA doubled down and dragged us to small claims court. Now, let me paint the courtroom scene for you. It's a foggy Tuesday morning. The judge is a middle-aged guy with tired eyes and a coffee-stained robe. I show up in a collared shirt and jeans. Karen shows up with a binder so thick it needed its own seat. She begins her case by playing a video of my front porch. No audio, just the image of my wind chime swaying in the breeze. I present this video as proof, she says, of the visual and auditory disruption Mr. Collins's wind chime has created. The judge furrows his brow. Ma'am, this video has no sound. Karen blinks. Well, it did when I recorded it. I think the audio didn't transfer. Okay, the judge says flatly. So, no sound. She fumbles with a USB stick, then a printed photo of the chime, then finally says, neighbors have complained it disrupts their dinner. The judge turns to me. Mr. Collins? I calmly played a 15-second clip on my phone of the chime. The sound was soft, meditative, almost like a wind harp. The judge actually closed his eyes and smiled. That's oddly pleasant. Then Gloria, God bless her, stood up and asked the judge to review the HOA bylaws. Section 3.4 prohibits disturbing outdoor fixtures, she read. Yet there's no decibel threshold, no standard, and no enforcement precedent. If wind chimes are banned under this clause, so are porch fans, garden fountains, and decorative flags. The judge raised an eyebrow at Karen. Do you enforce this rule on other homes? Karen hesitated. Well, no, not unless someone complains. So this is selectively enforced. only because Mr. Collins's chime is particularly disruptive. To whom? The judge asked. Karen looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. I can't disclose that. Anonymous complaints. That's when Gloria pounced. Your Honor, under Oregon state statute, anonymous complaints cannot be used as sole evidence in property disputes unless corroborated by physical proof. And they have none. The judge sat back. So let me get this straight. The HOA is fining a resident for a wind chime that makes no measurable noise, using a clause that's vague and inconsistently applied, with no real complainant and no evidence? Karen opened her mouth, then closed it. Case dismissed, the judge said, and I suggest the HOA revise its bylaws for clarity. Now here's the real kicker. After the ruling, Rick from the board pulled me aside in the parking lot. Turns out, he never wanted to fine me. In fact, 3 of the 5 board members disagreed with Karen's crusade, but she bulldozed them into submission with her strong personality and threats of violating fiduciary duty. But the court case changed everything. A week later, a petition circulated to recall Karen as HOA president. 68 signatures out of 90 homes. Majority rule. Karen? Gone. And guess who replaced her? Rick. First order of business? Clarify vague clauses. Second, reinstate neighbor-to-neighbor mediation before fines are issued. Third, a community chill zone initiative with a wind chime garden. I swear I'm not making this up. And Karen? Well, she didn't take it well. Moved out 3 months later, sold her house under market value, and rumor has it she tried joining another HOA only to be rejected during her application interview. Guess someone did their homework. Look, I get it. Rules are rules. But weaponizing them for petty control? That's not communitith's tyranny with a clipboard. And sometimes, all it takes is one copper wind chime and a smart lawyer to turn the tide. What do you think was the HOA right to enforce the rule? Or did Karen take things way too far? Have you ever dealt with an HOA gone rogue? Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it or had a similar experience, drop a comment and share your thoughts. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more real-life drama, justice, and a little bit of sweet, sweet karma.